No.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Now for real this time.
Okay.
My name is Evan Schultz, and I'm with.
Lisa Garcia with Hometown Realty.
And today I'm going to ask you some questions. So, question number one is just tell me about yourself and your business.
So my name is Lisa Garcia. I'm a real estate agent, broker, owner at Hometown Realty. I'm 41 years old. I am married to Joe Garcia. We've been married for about 20 years, and we have two kids. I have an 18-year-old that just graduated from Del Rio High School last year, and I have a sophomore attending ECHS.
And what made you want to start this business?
So I've been a real estate agent for about 12 and a half years. Got my broker's license about 2 years ago, and throughout the years, as you build up your clientele, it becomes referred business. So you have a lot of referral-based business, and I just decided that I wanted to kind of venture out on my own and work for myself and not be under someone.
So how would you describe your personality?
I will say that when I first started real estate, very quiet, very shy. But because of, having to get out there and promote yourself, and also, having to work with the community, with the buyers and sellers, you kind of have to put yourself out there. You have to get to know a lot of the lenders, a lot of the home inspectors, things like that. So over the years, I've definitely become a little bit more outgoing. We like to have our business as kind of a family-oriented business. Not, that I'm above you or anything like that. We're equals, and we're here to serve the community.
Oh, okay. And what kind of motivates you to start it or to keep going?
Definitely my family. It's something that I've wanted to do. It's always kind of been in the back of my mind. But like I said, as the years progressed, and I was able to see that a lot of my business and everything came from referrals, and I wasn't having to rely on my broker for leads coming in. I decided that I would, venture off and try it on my own.
Okay, and besides profit, what is your main objective?
Main objective? Or
goal, or anything that you wish to accomplish besides just
Okay, so basically, there's a lot of first-time home buyers out there that don't know anything about the home buying process. You'll hear some horror stories, about, people buying their first home, everything went wrong, from the beginning to the end. When we bought our first house, I was not in real estate at the time, and we went through some long processes and things like that. And my goal was to make sure that, anybody that's buying, their first home doesn't have to go through that process. Want to be there to be able to walk them through it from the beginning to the end, make it a smooth transaction as possible.
That's great. And if you don't mind me asking, what's your business structure?
So I currently am set up as an LLC.
Oh, okay. Is there any reason why you chose this structure in particular?
So right now it is a smaller business. It's structured as just me as the owner of the property, and so I really don't have any employees or anything like that under me at this time, and so the LLC was something that the tax accountant advised me to do.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. So how would you describe your company's culture?
Again, so going back to kind of being more of a family, oriented, not necessarily family blood related, but just the, the culture of that. I believe that, anything that, I can do to succeed, I want to help you succeed. If you're doing good in business, I'm doing good in business. So I want to be able to, as most realtors in this town, we are competitive with each other, but at the same time, any agents that are, listed under me, I want to make sure that you're succeeding, and I'm going to do everything that I can possible to see you through that.
And so do you have any employees, or are they?
So the way our business is set up, I don't necessarily have an employee right now. Any of the agents that are under my brokerage, they are self-employed, so they are basically 1099 contractors. So I pay them through a 1099. They are not an actual employee. At some point, I will be hiring an employee to be kind of like our office front secretary, but at this time, I am not needed of a full-time employee.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. And if you don't mind describing your favorite work environment, or
So my favorite work environment would probably be in the office. I do like doing a lot of the paperwork and stuff like that. So once I'm in the office and I'm getting the files together, making the phone calls, making sure everything's set up, everything's going accordingly, that's kind of my favorite. A little bit of being out in the field as well, because you're getting to know your clients, you're getting to know what they want, what they like, what they don't like. I would say in the field, I'm not big on ranches. Didn't grow up in that ranch field, so if it's a couple little acres, I'm good with that. But anything over about 5 to 10 acres, it's really not I'm not a boots and cowboy cowgirl kind of girl.
It's a little bit much.
It's a little bit, yes, yeah. There's areas in real estate that some agents stick to. Of course, some of them do a little bit of everything. My main focus is residential real estate. However, we do dabble in property management, a little bit of land, new construction, things like that. But single family residential is kind of my niche. Yes.
Focus on. Okay. And so, what would be your least favorite work environment?
Probably, like I said, being out in the field in the ranch area. And of course, when it's raining and super cold and you're out showing properties, but we do it.
Yeah. So what makes your business unique?
It's not really unique as far as the real estate vibe. I mean, we're all kind of out there doing the same thing. We're trying to, get you into properties. We're trying to help you sell them. As far as unique from the other competitors out there, it's more of just trying to be honest, be upfront with our clients, trying to keep them on schedule, making sure that they know what's going on. I feel like that's going to be a very smooth transaction for them, and we just want to make sure that, when they're looking for someone to handle their biggest asset, that we're there for them.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, because you kind of explained that a little earlier with the main objective besides, helping
Yes.
people who are first-time buyers and everything. Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. And did you choose this location just because you lived here, or is there, some other reasons why you chose this location?
Yes, no, we chose this location because this is currently where we live. My husband's employed here in Del Rio. Like I said, we've got 2 kids, one that's graduated, one that is going to school here. So at this time, this is the best place for us. At any point in the future, if my husband, possibly were to be transferred for a job employment, it's always something that I can pick up and start somewhere else. The biggest challenge of that would just be getting to know the community because, of course, living here in Del Rio, we moved here back in 1989, and so I'm very familiar with the area, very familiar with the neighborhoods. So it's definitely something that helps, and having that background knowledge of Del Rio and the areas, you can definitely help out your clients, especially when, they need to know things like when, is this property in a flood zone? Anybody that was here in 1998 knows where all the flood zones are, so definitely, being from Del Rio and having, ties here, I definitely have a little bit more knowledge than other people that are coming into the community that may not, have been here and experienced things over the years.
Okay. I'm just going to check on the phone and make sure it's still going. Okay, it looks.
Okay.
All right. So how do you attract customers to your business?
So we do advertising through Facebook, through a lot of social media platforms, Instagram. We do a lot of referral networking as well. We have conferences that we attend throughout the year that are hosted in Austin, Dallas, places like that. And we get to meet agents from there. And so, we just kind of form a relationship with them, hand out business cards. So that way, if I ever have anyone, going to, say, the Dallas area, if I know of an agent in Dallas, I can refer them out and vice versa. But a lot of, like I said, kind of referral business, just making sure that your clients are taken care of, and they're going to turn around and, put your name out there for other people as well.
Kind of spread your name out
Exactly, yes.
And so do you have any particular target market or?
Not really. So, of course, as a realtor, we're held by the code of ethics, and so we do not discriminate. So we are out there for, basically anyone regardless of race, sex, religious, beliefs, anything like that. So we are not necessarily, of course, probably 18 and up, just because, of credit issues and things like that and legal stuff. But, 18 years and up, anyone that, of course has an income that can apply for a home loan. But no, we don't really have a set demographic or anything like that we appeal to. Basically, everyone out there is either looking to buy a home, looking to sell a home, looking to invest a home. So really not any specific demographic.
And is there any way in particular that you've adapted to the community and culture of Del Rio? Being on the border and being
Yes, so, with being on the border, it causes a little bit of challenges when we've got people coming in from other states, other cities. Everyone always kind of questions, living on the border, if it's safe, things like that. Just trying to ensure to our clients that, we live here, we feel that this is a very safe community. We have a lot of law enforcement presence, things like that. Growing up here in Del Rio, we've definitely got to take advantage of the Mexican culture with the American culture. It is nice to be able to participate in some of those occurrences and things like that.
So is there anything with the military or, being next to the base and all?
Yes, so we end up getting a lot of business with the military. Of course, most of our military are coming in. A lot of them are only staying, anywhere between 2 to 4 years. So we do get a lot of military influx when they're PCSing, coming in looking for homes, and then when they're also outbound PCSing. We do also have a lot of things that we help with the base. So I've had the privilege of being part of the military affairs. And so what that is we get to go out to the base, and when we have a new pilot class coming in, we get to basically welcome them into Del Rio, give them tacos, things like that, just kind of, open arms, welcome them in. They're here, they've got a very strenuous, activity load. They're constantly studying, stressed out, they're busy all the time. So we try to kind of give them a little bit of an outlet, and invite them into the community, things like the rodeos or the wild game dinner. We give out tickets to them to be able to come into the community, get to know us, and we try to welcome them as much as possible into our community.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And how has COVID affected your business, and how have you adapted to the situation?
So when COVID first hit, of course, everybody was a little panicked. We started to see a lot of the homes being removed from the market. Nobody was wanting to hold open houses, anything like that. So our market did take a little bit of a dip right at the beginning. As things kind of started to look upwards, we had to revert to doing video walkthrough tours. So we weren't doing a lot of in-person tours. They were just letting the agents in. We would have to come in, sanitize, wear our masks, things like that to get access to the property. We would then share the videos with our clients. So we were having a lot of people that were, purchasing homes, making offers on homes. Basically sight unseen as far as being able to step into the house. They were just going off of video footage and things like that. A lot of our title companies and things like that reverted to doing basically kind of drive-up closings, so they weren't letting the clients come in, or they were limiting it to who came in to the facilities, to the properties. So that we would, possibly have our clients drive up to the title companies, and someone would come out to give them the documents they would sign in the car and then hand them back in. So we went through a lot of changes. It definitely, like I said, we had a little bit of a drop when it first started. Right now, everything is, I'd say, probably about 90% back to normal. We still run into a couple clients that, prefer to have the agents, wash up, hand sanitize, things like that before coming into their properties. But it's also opened up a lot of new opportunities for us, because we get introduced to a lot of, this technology that a lot of us don't really know about. We're doing Zoom calls and, things like that. So it's definitely opened up some new technology to us, which has also helped improve the way that we can serve our clients and customers.
So, how do you involve yourself in the community of Del Rio?
So again, like military affairs, kind of getting out there with that. We also do. I am actually part of a Homes for Heroes program here in Del Rio, and so it's really focused on giving back. Anybody that is in law enforcement, teachers, the medical community, anything like that in that hero status, I give a portion of my commission back to those that are buying or selling homes. And so, and it's not just about that, it's also about getting out and getting involved with our, firefighters, EMS, if they have any fundraisers or anything like that, just offering our assistance with that, our veterans as well, anything that we can do to help out and serve them.
That's wonderful, that's really good. And how would you describe the relationship between, well, I guess that doesn't really apply to you, because you said you don't really have employees, so.
Right, yes. Yeah, at this time I don't have any employees. Probably in the future we will be getting one as we get a little bit busier, we need someone in the front desk, answering phones, taking appointments, things like that. But at this time I do not have an employee.
So is your business a family business, a family run business, or?
Not necessarily. I do get, of course, some assistance from my husband. He is the person that goes and puts up my signs, things like that. My daughter helps in the office a little bit with paperwork and things like that, but it is not really a family-run business.
So what type of permits do you need to run this business?
So as far as permits, there's really nothing. Now there are licenses that I have to have. As a real estate agent, you have to be an agent for 4 years before you can get your broker's license. And then once you have your broker's license, you're able to open up your own brokerage. Now you can open up a brokerage just as an agent, but you do have to have a broker that is overseeing the brokerage of the office. So I would say, basically what you would have to do is have a license have a broker license to be able to operate the business.
So what are some of the daily responsibilities that you have, in this business?
So daily responsibilities is definitely going to be following up with your clients, from in the morning, getting to the office, just making sure, going through your checklist, making sure everything's going very smoothly, that you've ordered your surveys, your title policies, your commitments, make sure inspections are done, things like that, following up with your clients, making sure that everyone's kind of on the same timeline. There's very, very tight timelines when you're under contract, and you need that agent that's keeping an eye on it for you and making sure that you're getting everything done on time, and that you're not risking anything. And so that's going to be, kind of day in and day out. Of course, showing, scheduling, things like that, property maintenance. So kind of day in, day out, just a lot of just making sure everything's going smoothly with the contracts.
And how do you make improvements to your to your service, I guess, would be the question.
So we do continuing education. I always say, the more you can learn, the best. So you definitely want to keep educated. You want to keep up to date with everything that's going on. We're constantly getting, updates on contracts. So making sure that you're aware of those updates, the new laws that changes. Keeping up to date with our Texas Association of Realtors, our National Association of Realtors. As stuff comes through the pipeline, they're bringing it down to us. Just making sure that we're up to date on everything that's changing. We've got seminars and classes that are offered in San Antonio and Dallas, 2 and 3 times a year. So just making sure that you're attending those courses, like I said, and just staying up to date on everything that's changing within the real estate market.
So how would you go about making improvements to what you're currently doing?
So as far as making improvements, there is a little bit of trial and error. There's things that, you come across, because like I said, everything's, it's always changing from time to time. Years ago when we had the big hailstorm, a lot of people kind of freaked out a little bit because no one knew what to do. We had homes that were under contract. Then you have the hailstorm come, so it's like, what do? You've got new roofs, roofs that need to be replaced. You've got, so things like that come up. You're constantly learning and evolving from that. So you just, you kind of have to rely on like I said, our state reps and stuff like that to, go back and ask for guidance on how we're going to take care of these issues, going back to our Texas Association of Realtors. So basically, just trying to stay up to date, and learn from any kind of mistakes or anything moving forward and not to make those again.
So, do you know what you do differently now than what you did maybe a few years prior or before?
Definitely being a little bit more confident in everything. There used to, I never wanted to reach out to anyone for help. I always kind of wanted to be the one that figured it out on my own. And I've learned that, it's not a bad thing to reach out and to ask for help, to ask for assistance. It doesn't make you any weaker. If anything, it makes you a little bit stronger. So I definitely have learned that, when you need help, ask for it.
So that was kind of more the startup, or?
Yes, definitely with the startup. Of course, this is my first business. I've never owned a business prior to this, except for just being a real estate agent, being self-employed on that end. But actually physically opening an office, it's definitely been kind of a little trial and error, getting systems into place. There's things that you think are just going to fall right in, and it does not happen that way. You get held up with certain timelines and things like that. Getting into the office space, the city with, ordinances and, having to do your inspections, things like that. Things that you were planning to get in a week or two in advance and didn't. But yes, just definitely reaching out and asking for help with certain things, and
Okay, and I'm gonna check this.
Okay.
Let's see about that. Okay, that's perfect. And so now you can go ahead and fire away at me.
Okay.
Ask me any questions.
So are you interested in opening up a business at any time?
Well, I thought about it, but I don't know what I would do
Okay.
with it, because I think it'd be interesting, but also I don't like to work
Okay.
like all day, every day. 'Cause
Yes.
It seems like, because I've heard when you have a business, it's like a kid. You need to have it. It's every day.
Right.
You gotta be maintaining and everything. So I don't know if that's my kind of thing. Because I feel like I wouldn't be able to maintain that sort of work ethic.
Okay. Do you have family that owns businesses or anything that you've been exposed to or had, seen firsthand?
No, not that I know of. As far as I can tell, everyone is employed by someone.
Mhm.
They don't own the business
Okay.
or any kind of thing like that. And it doesn't have to be 3 questions. You can
No,
you
it's
can
fine.
ask
Okay.
a few more if you would like.
I think that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was
For your
very
time
nice.
and everything.
Yes, thank you.